Thanks for joining us and welcome back to the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja. And I am Messi Babajide. And of course, we've gotten to the part where we invite our guest analysts to, of course, analyze most of the headlines. And most of the headlines today, most of them has been screaming protest. But with me in the studio this morning is Comrade Duke Alamboye. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's been, yes, I think it's over a week or 2 weeks since I saw you last.
Please, I traveled.
And okay, welcome back. And a lot has happened in such a short period
time,
yes.
These things are expected in the country.
Okay. Do you think these things are expected because we have a new government, or it looks like impending doom, or let me use that word, it looks like things have been accumulated?
Because there are lots of expectations.
Okay.
And probably everybody had kept hopes warming to see the new government come in and perform different thing from what we've experienced. You know, I think 90 to 95% of Nigerians will agree with me that the nation was taken aback.
Okay.
In the past 8 years.
8 years, yeah.
And there was that lofty heights. People were looking for that messiah in the person of Tinubu, Atiku, and Obi, and Kwankwaso, the persons that contested for the 2023 presidential election. So the expectations were high at every strata you can think about. So what we're experiencing is an outcome of, if it was positive or if it was going positive, you will still see that rousing support and all of that.
So sorry to cut you short. I'd like to tell our viewers at home that our phone lines are on, of course, to take your contribution. But then you said something about expectations are high, but given 2 months, don't you think 2 months is such a short period of time to actually expect too much? And even in that same 2 months, a lot has happened. I mean, if we actually take...
When people say 2 months, don't we think 2 months is too short? But you also said again, within 2 months, so many things have happened. There are terms, there are different terms in these expectations. Short terms, long term, mid terms, and all of that. Expectations. In the meantime, what are the effects of the present government? What are the tension of the present government? What are the changes? What are the moves? What is the body language? When President Mohamed Buhari came in, just 1 day. 1 day speech, Nigerians packed out of the country. Investors left the country. So this is what can happen in the short period. And what we are seeing are things that are supposed to happen in the short period and also provide solution in the short period. You don't put up strategy for a short period and now want the solution to be in the long or mid period. So this is what is happening, unfortunately. Okay,
for most of the papers here, we have the protest that happened yesterday leading most of the papers. And Punch, we have subsidy protests, banks offices shut and rallies, Labour demands 200,000 naira minimum wage. Of course, it looks like that was what they asked previously and they're not backing down. And now here on the Punch, we have Labour talks with Tinubu on cost of living fruitful. President made pledges on refineries, wage award others. Business as usual in government, private offices, banks, and protest day. Now protesters break down National Assembly. What's your take on all of this together?
Well, it's quite sad, I must tell you. And like I earlier on said, they are all expected. There's nothing out of it. Once the president announced that subsidy removal officially, and that vehemently he was going to stand by it, the will and ability to stand by it. As a person, I knew that so many things would change. But where I became worried is, for 2 months, the capacity of the president we have, the readiness of the president we have, should have provided short-term solutions. Allowing this issue to linger to this point where NLC had begun to threaten strikes and protests is actually not called for. You see, when governments, mostly federal government, engage NLC, sometimes I think that they have some level of lackadaisic attitude to it. They take it on serious, knowing that if NLC begins to talk to its chapters, people are very ready to do the negative far better than the positive.
Yes.
So you don't allow them to come in to take that space to use it to still damage the brand new government that is coming in place.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's quickly take this call, our fourth caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Collins from Benue State.
Okay, all right. From Benue, Collins from Benue. Please do well to stay away from your TV set or you reduce the volume.
I'll bring down the volume.
Okay, all right. Join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
I want to ask the comrade in the studio.
Okay.
Mr. Comrade, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
My question goes like this. Does it mean that there is a political class, which I mean that is recycled in such a manner that maybe either you are a former governor, a former senator, or a former minister, or one of the clique of the government before, that is to be selected into every government? Why am I saying this? There was somebody that made a statement when I believe it's your studio, your station anyway, where he was commenting that the clique of people that have been in power since the inception of democracy, some of them started from the cradle with them down to this stage. So many of them, we are still among the ministers that have been nominated now. That is the first question for you. Then another thing is this. You see, I like before the election, I said I don't normally believe in manifestos. But one thing most I believe is your action when you get into power. I was so impressed the way that the Labour and the federal government they get settled yesterday. Like each time I used to pray, I say God should not allow any evil to come. The moment we have what is happening in Sudan, in Niger now, I tell you Nigeria will never be the same again. So I'm looking up to the extent that at least this government, there are so many other loopholes. Like in my place, we the minority people, the Domas, the Zone Cs, we have been marginalized since, I don't know whether it's 1970 something or so that Benue State was created or something of that nature. As I'm talking to you now, they have 2 senators. Now they are giving the SGF to them. They have the governors, which is they believe is their right. You see? And so many other things. Now they have 2 senators, they have the SGF, they have ministers. If you look to all these things, is it making sense? And this is what exactly that is making the Southeast to agitate in one way or the other. So all these cases, you have to look into it. I thank God for the comment the president made yesterday. My main problem now is not just to be palliative, but to our roots. We could not take our farm product out. We are not secure to even go to our farms. So all these things cause all this idleness that is making all these all sorts of things that is not giving peace to the nation and not to the state or the masses. So the government have to look into it, more especially the road aspect. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Collins from Benue. The floor is just due.
Well, that is a very powerful submission. I think I'm sure the papers had also captured the ministerial appointment.
Yes.
We were actually talking on the issues around the NLC, and I was going to buttress a point here that federal governments shouldn't have left this issue linger to where NLC will begin to come in. That's a lacuna at their own side. Then secondly, I want to support him, put a voice to support him that I thank God for what happened yesterday. The meeting between the NLC and the TUC and the president was very fruitful. The proactiveness of the president to come out to talk to Nigerians. This is one thing we've not seen. This is one thing we've not seen.
In the past 8 years. I
appreciated it. We didn't hear anything from Garuba. We didn't hear anything from the new spokesman. We heard directly from the president addressing the nation. And if you look at that address, it was all encompassing. It spoke to the conscience of the common man in the country. So again, him taking up the step again to call on NLC to say, look, let's spread the books and see what is obtainable. We need this level of transparency so that people can understand. Now it has taken us into another positive direction. So I agree with the caller. It has taken us to calmness. It has taken us to all angst being on deck. But again, we shouldn't. Government, mostly federal government, should not allow issues to lie until there's an agitation before they begin to give it attention is not too good at the side of government. However, we commend even the NLC president to have listened to the call of the president, and they've discussed firmly what is in need, as the president had pointed out. Get refineries working. If refineries are working in our country, it's a solution to all of this. If today government will borrow and say, look, they want to fix 2 refineries in the country, everybody will support such kind gesture or such gesture, because it will really reduce the issues or the cankerworm bedeviling this whole subsidy removal thing. They've saved lots of money. They should redirect those monies in as much as they are provided palliative for the Nigerian citizens to settle down within 3-4 months, while they also go into refine the system. I'm very happy the president has also stated that, of course, they will see how the Port Harcourt refinery comes to play. So these are the short and mid-term solutions I'll be talking about. Okay. To do all of this, you do not really need NLC to begin to agitate.
All right, let's quickly take the next caller. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is from the Madabuchi.
Okay, all right.
I'm calling from Katsina. Good morning.
All right, please, can you step away from the TV
my regard to comrades like me over there.
Thank you very much, brother.
You're welcome. My good brother and sisters. I don't know how to put it. All those things, they will repair refinery from River State or from Warri or from that. Abba, let's tell ourselves truth. I see mentioning it every time I call this channel. APC government has no plan to the country. When did Tinubu spoke out? I believe Tinubu spoke out on 1st of this month. And Labour take their side when? Yesterday. And now he promised them that before December that they will do this. Anyway, I thank Labour for what they did yesterday. But if I'm a president of Nigerian Labour Congress, I will not agree with Tinubu, because all those things are deceiving. They are deceiving us. If either Tinubu has ever bought well for his car since he has been a governor of Lagos State. The reason why they are doing all those, they don't know what people are passing through. No food, no transportation. A common academic cannot buy a fuel to his home district. If you come to Katsina State today, you see that if machine pass 5, you can't see one motor. You'll be like, say, we're there for lockdown. As it happened in 2020, over COVID-19. Let's tell ourselves truth. If Labour will agree with me, then should not go back. Then for not even give them 1 week. Then for them today, let the strike continue. Because they are there doing, even our senators and co, they are there doing nothing. They are doing nothing. They are suffering the poor. Let's tell ourselves truth. We promise that. We promise we still confess. Let us go strike on 2nd. Now you are promising them in December. A refinery for Port Harcourt will start. Who is deceiving who? In fact, my brother and sister, my comrade, I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
So let Nigeria know that Comrades is in the station. Yeah. Tell the Nigeria government, let them not forget what happened to Niger Republic. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, these are the cries of people, and necessarily you may not, you will not blame them, but I also agree that it's not magic. Whatever our demands is as a people, is not magic. These things will take its process. The president, I don't think will. Of course, one other thing I also understand is that I think they don't have enough fund. So the presidency and the government is trying to manage what they can to fix this problem ahead of us. It will, before we came to the studio, I was telling you that it will be a distraction. Watch out, in the next 1 year, you might see this government trying to solve these issues if they are not on their firm. One other thing again is the earlier appointment of ministers would have helped. The president has traveled to out of the country for international engagement 3 or 4 times, and it's not necessary. If he had gotten his ministers on board, they would have known where to schedule all of this, while he concentrates and face the issues at hand. The federal government should be ready, mostly that the transition was APC to APC. And the APC of yesterday was seen as a down sloped started APC. Now the president, in his manifesto and in his goodwill, had promised Nigerians a whole lot. One of the promises, positively, is the removal of the subsidy. However, what they didn't do was to provide or to stake out the measures of, you know, interventory measures that would have helped not bring this government to this level. So, in a nutshell, whatever process, whatever agreement they are having with NLC, Nigerians should also know that it's a process thing. It's not something that can work within 1 month or something. There are proceedings. They are giving out palliatives. They have collaborations with the state government to ensure this and that. The sincerity and execution of these things to fix the common man minds is where my problem lies.
Okay.
So I think it's high time we moved from that deceptive stage. Now that NLC had again approved the plea of federal government, they shouldn't take it for granted. That is my only plea I'm going to make in this all of it. Else it will begin to linger, and before you know, 100 days, 1 year will go in office.
Okay, all right. I was still speaking on NLC and all of this subsidy protests. Before we take the next caller, I would like to ask this question, but then after taking the call, you answer. Our federal government sues labor leaders, says protests will be suspended. They said there is contempt of court. So please hold that question while we quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from. All right, please.
Please, Comr.
Yeah, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Comr, I want to ask you a question again. You see, my junior sister is having a close friend which we are living with us before, but now she's in Virginia. There was a time she came down to UK when the little daughter was ill. Would you believe that the best doctor the hospital recognized her to was from Nigeria? I want to ask our politicians. If you look at the era of Gaddafi, I believe Libya was nothing to be compared to Nigeria. But most of our people that stayed in Libya, even while they were being maltreated, they still believe in staying there because they are making best of life from them. Happens to say that if you go to their hospitals, their schools, everything was perfectly going well. What is the problem with our politicians? If anyone is having headache today, he will run to France, run to UK, run to Susan. And most of the doctors they believe they're going to meet here, most of them are from Nigeria. I happen to hear from one of my friends that the best neurosurgeon was in Australia as of how many years back is a Nigerian person. We have all the qualities to make everything perfect in a manner that the entire nations of the earth will focus in Nigeria. But today, what is happening? They read the ethos to dry. I'm telling you this. Normally, I don't believe in speaking evil words. Because most of my words, when I utter it, it stands. If you write it on the wall today. If this regime doesn't make things perfect, write it on the wall. I pray it will not be that Nigerians never remain the same again. Because the whole masses, even the ones that have not been given birth to, know what they are coming to face. My father said, you don't go to the house of frog to show him how to scroll. Because scrolling has become a birthright of frog. We have known and we have experienced suffering. So we are not afraid of what is happening in Sudan or any other place. I pray God should touch their heart. Let the masses begin to receive the impact of democracy. Let's see it. Have good roads. Have good schools. So people cannot get. People that wrote jam for over how many years, some of them are still not in school because of strike. Not that we are not learned, we have the quality lecturers. So many people want to leave the lecturer job. Why? Because they are not paid. Go to the House of Assembly. How much are they receiving? As of last time when they did of palliative also, each senator was giving 40 million for what? House of Rep, City House of Rep. For what? look, let's just be sincere. I don't want to take us long.
Okay.
I love this station because this is the only station that gives us the access to view our pains to speak out our voice. And I pray this station will stand forever.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah, issues. Yeah, these same issues. You see, like I was saying before the caller came, yeah, the government should quickly put their hands on deck and get this over, because the Nigerian, the government just added another problem to the Nigerian problem. We have issues of insecurity, like he has mentioned all of it. In fact, after he spoke now, I'm short of words, because he has intelligently outlined other issues that are lining under the bed. While they think the issue of fuel subsidy is predominant, there are issues, and if it begins to linger, we don't have any solutions towards it, it will also begin to make the other issues have its own. So I think it's high time, for once again. From here, I'm going to write to NLC to pay them a courtesy call to appreciate the understanding they've had with this government thus far, in the face of hardship. So federal government shouldn't push them to the corner that the NLC will begin to be perceived as a weak one. They are trying to understand the situation. So federal government should also quickly pick up their ass and then dot their I's and then cross their T's to ensure that INEC is not ridiculed in understanding what they want to do.
Yeah. Okay, before we pick the caller, I was talking about federal government suing the labor leaders and says protest will be suspended. That was before. And as of yesterday, after the protest, the labor leaders came out to say this federal government sued them for contempt of court.
I've not seen this before, and like I told you, I just heard it this morning. But if federal government actually sued NLC, it then means that they didn't mean well for this country. That is just my take on it. There's no, they can't shoot themselves on the feet. The issues came from them, and for goodness sake, NLC have the fundamental constitutional right to protest peacefully.
Yes.
Nobody can stop them. No court of competent jurisdiction. In fact, the court knows that INEC, what they call them, NLC have the right to protest. Their protest is national bound. Their protest is national interest. So once that comes up, they can mobilize in the country and protest. No court can grant such thing. But in a case that truly federal government had sued for contempt, NLC for contempt, is so disheartening, and I think it's not the right way to go. Okay. I don't have a detail about it. I don't want to also believe that transpired. I don't want to even believe that went on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I would like you to know, there's no way we'll talk about the current administration without talking about party politics. There's been lots on people's mind, and then I'm going to ask two questions at the same time. 5 governors making the ministerial list. Do you think that's, yes, we all stand for bringing competent people on board, but does that mean that there are no other competent people that have never tasted power before? That's one question. And now, talking about PDP inaugurates councils for Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi polls, and they've equally said they're confident about winning most of these polls, given what has happened in the last election. Do you actually think we're looking forward to seeing another political apathy in the next coming gubernatorial election? Well,
your first question, the ministerial list.
Yeah.
We are Nigerians, and any routes you take, people will complain. It's a natural phenomenon. People will definitely will not give you 100% of pass or 100% of failure.
Yeah.
Be it as it may, let us be sensitive enough. The elections in our country came under political party representation. It's not a one man or individual or a participation. You must belong to a political party to emerge. Now, when you've emerged, you have that responsibility to pay back dividends of appointments to your party. You hold them that obligation. And in doing that, there are strata of people that have supported you to emerge. While doing that, you will not go and take technocrats. You must look for a certain percentage of appointments to give to your political parties. If it falls in line with governors, if it falls in line with experienced technocrats in the political space, they are all grouped under politicians. Now, the way our politics is being fashioned, immediately you leave the tenets of governance. The people that uphold and control and manage electoral process are the governors. You can't take it away from them. Elections are held in states. Elections are held in local governments. The controllers and administrators of these processes are the governors. So they largely determine who wins an election in a particular state. So we shouldn't also put that fact away that having emerged as president, the president will totally look over 25 states. I'm sure the APC have 25 states, maybe 24 states. Governors,
yeah,
that stood by him to run this election, whom some of them have done fantastically well in their various states in administration, different levels. Some did very well in infrastructure, some human capacity building, and so on and so forth. So you do not expect the president to overlook those capacities all in the name of bringing technocrats into governance. That is number one. They must have their percentage. We expected them to emerge. In fact, 5 alone, 4. In his party, APC, 4. Coming up, I give him kudos. He did not actually...
so you think he didn't overstretch it?
He didn't overstretch it, yes.
Okay.
I give him that kudos. Now, again, this president has also promised Nigerians that he was going to run a unity government. So he said to Nigerians that hands will be open to political parties that want to join him to build our nation. Election is gone. What is remaining is governance. His election is being contested in court. We are waiting for the tribunal to tell us that the election went well or not, based on evidence placed before them. But for the now, he has been sworn in and is beckoning. During the election, he went far as a politician to anchor on other political parties to win. An instance of the Rivers State governor emerging as this is the olive branch the president has also extended to Governor Wike, whom also in his own capacity was a performing governor. You will not mention 3, 4, 5 governors in the country in the past 8 years without mentioning Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. So in that angle, I want to say that the president merits his appointment list.
Okay.
Having just 5 governors on his list. The other ways, names have come out. Nigerians are Nigerians. Most of them on the list, I don't know them. One fantastic person that was interviewed that I liked so much was the man from Osun Abi Ondo State that served as a commissioner for finance. He's presently the essay on to the governor as an advisor to the governor on financial list. And if you look at it, they are trying to straighten it. So if you look at it as much as they are politicians, one thing we should concern ourselves is what are they bringing on board? So I'm a little bit sometimes faulting the screening process because it would have availed us to know the strength of persons that are coming on board for yes. ministerial appointments. Now we see some of them take a bow and leave. Okay, for the sake of antecedents, some of them take a bow and leave because they've been in the chambers before. So we do not know where they're going to place them. We don't even know their strength. That's supposed to, the screening process is supposed to form their strength of concentration where they think that they can serve. We saw a few amongst them, like Wike, vehemently telling them that he was very good in infrastructure, his deliverables while he was governor. So one could, with a matter of time, think this one would be fit for, amongst all 47 we've seen, this one could fit for A, B, C. We saw the guy that came to say, talk much more on finance, how to bring Nigerian out of financial doom. And one would have just said, oh, this one will be good for this. Some persons just came, took about where are they going to place them? Tomorrow when they are there and the sector is not doing well, we begin to come and cry foul. I think what the concentration should be is not the people that are coming out, but what do they have? What does the administration place it before them to say, as we appoint you as minister of A, B, C, Y, Z, these are your functions, these are what you're supposed to deliver, so that they take that on board and move with it in the execution.
So basically give them targets. That
is what I'm saying. Okay. The presidency, the party APC, before they came into power, sworn in, they have manifestos. The manifestos are going to be run by the ministers on the mandate of what the presidency is looking at as deliverable to Nigerian citizens. If we look that, it means that the implication is that the president should be keen about who becomes his minister. And if he feels that all his ministers should be governors, we shouldn't have a problem with it. Our problem should be, are they coming to deliver? Again, people bother themselves about tendencies. That's where it comes in. Oh,
but sorry to cut you. There's the case of recycling the same people. I mean, there's this song we always sing. We are the leaders of tomorrow.
So far,
but it doesn't even seem like it right now. Are you trying to say we do not have competent people that have never tasted power?
You must belong to government. You must belong to politics.
Who made that rule?
I will always talk about my side because I'm very versatile in the River State and Niger Delta politics. What is his name? Ten Jacqueries.
Okay.
Ten Jacqueries, the founder and the owner of Telema Oil.
Yes.
He has nothing. If one could say it, he is very rich. He has nothing to do in politics. But that is one man that came to understand that for him to serve his country appropriately and very well, he needs to be in politics. And today he is there. So if he's appointed as minister or whatever appointment he's going to get, he has merited it as a technocrat and someone that also understands that through politics you can serve your nation. It's democracy. All hands must be on deck to deliver democracy. So you cannot sit down in London, you cannot sit down at the coffers of your home and say, oh, they've done, elections are gone, they should appoint technocrats. Who is not a technocrat? Everybody playing politics, they are specialists in one field, or they are engineers, they are doctors, they are socialists, they are all educated and very strong in one field or the other. Their ability to participate in politics is a direction to serving the nation in their respective fields. That's why you see some governments, some governors, when they come into power, they are good in administration, they are good in infrastructure, they are good in social life. So you see different capacities springing up, but you must be in politics to ensure that you are achieving this. The technocrats they are talking about is not an easy one to go and pull out. Somebody that does not understand the system, though I agree, the too much revolving of politicians are becoming. So we need to have a retiring age. Somebody must not play politics for 16, 20, 30, 40 years.
It feels like from being governor
from being governor to minister to this.
Exactly.
That is where I think the constitution, they should make a constitution so that
all right. Let's quickly take this call. All right, good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Please, your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm calling. My name is Sunday Jeffers.
Okay, all right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Adamawa, Ganye.
Okay, all right. Please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
All right. The problem we have in this country is the INEC chairman of our local governments, they are not giving them correct what the knowledge they will use. They will say ex-coppers and ex-coppers. We saw top F9 are going for election, and one person is controlling even the BVN, the BVAS and everything, the IMEC, the number 1, 2, 3, all of them are not working, only counting they can do. And one person is working. And when the result we expect from Nigerians, you will see a fake result will come out, and the announcement of the president, we will not understand what we expect is not what we get. And now, who is in Niger, and a Nigerian president who we don't even expect him today, he is shocked. We are expecting who in Nigeria, and when Tinubu is sacked, all over Nigeria will run over and be happy. We are not happy. People are dying. That's my own point.
All right, thank you very much for joining in on the conversation. I bet that's a contribution to the PDP and the forthcoming gubernatorial elections we spoke about.
Yes, about the elections.
Okay.
Well, people have moved away from party support. So many people have moved away from party support. So that's why it's always eminent and nice that political parties field credible candidates and what I would call popular candidates. Positively popular candidates.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some candidates that are popular, but
so you do agree that popularity has a major role to play in being a
very well. But being popular in the positive direction will make people have that sympathy to vote for you outside party line. You will see what went on. People didn't expect that the likes of what is his name, the Labour Party presidential candidate will just come up and in the first period, almost winning the election. Of course, it's still been contested. You might be surprised that they come out to say he won or Atiku won the election or there should be a rerun. Anything can come out of the tribunal. But what I'm saying is that the level of popularity that man had was overwhelming, meaning that he's no more a political party stand. It's about who
person.
Yeah, who wants to govern us. So if PDP or APC is coming to make claims that in the forthcoming elections within some states, Bayelsa, Kogi, and I think few states that are going to do that, they are going to win. Well, we don't know what is in their minds, but we are sure that it's going to seem to be a test. I think that's where that call is coming from.
Okay.
It's going to also be a test for INEC again to see how they can truthfully transmit these elections. You know, in the most utmost faith. I think we are.
Okay, we lost that.
So
call.
if they don't do that and still compromise, because maybe APC presidency is a government and then they now want to rig the election, it will not pay. Every government, every governor that wants to contest election, every member that wants to contest election must go home and convince the people to vote for him.
Okay, all right. Let's take our last call for the day.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please step away from your TV set.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Edo State. My name is Friday.
All right, Friday. Please join in on the conversation in 50 seconds.
Okay, one. It's just like what happened yesterday.
Okay.
When you are dating a girl and you are asking the girl, "Can you marry me?" You say, "No, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I don't know yet." And you know, okay, let's go and see your father. When did that get there? The father asked, "This day you are dating, are you from the guy?" He said, "Yes."
Okay.
So you as a guy, so what is also the reason? This guy there is something behind. That's what happened yesterday. You come out as a president, tell Nigeria, see your plan and see your plan. You still make sure refinery.
Okay.
So before you now see people protest, before you now say, yes, I want to do refinery, you don't know it's scam. It's a scam. That is what we are seeing in Nigeria. There is no president who have the capacity, the knowledge to take the next level. What they are just doing there is just let me rule as president and live there. That's what they are doing. They don't have the brain, they don't have everything. They are just ruling us as animals. That let me go and rule there. So anything they do is just like that. They can go away with it. Nobody talk, nobody ask them. Just like when they arrest Emefiele. It is something up to the president. You don't hear anything for president. Not they didn't arrest president. They didn't arrest anybody. Apart from Emefiele and he's finished. That's what them. What happened to the president? Buhari, who just ruled and give us issue. The people we are parting the same government. And nothing has been done. You didn't hold the party, nothing. You are holding a government. Government is working alone. No, work out somebody. So that's my conversation, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. We've been seeing your call right from the start of the program. Please join in on the conversation in 50 seconds. Your name? Hello? Okay, all right. Where are you calling from? Oh, wow. We lost that call then. All right, you heard what the last caller said. He was able to relate it with Emefiele and all of that. You actually agree that there should have been lots of arrests. I mean, every administration comes in and they want to bring their new persons on board, but then there has to be check and balances with the previous government. The
government have a lot to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that to me that's a distraction. The government have a lot to do to certified Nigerians. They never put in their manifesto that they're going to fight corruption. If they come to government, they are going to fight the past administration. If that was in their constitution,
but that is not fighting the previous administration. That is checking.
They are checking the previous administration. Yes, it would have been there. So it is distracting their attention.
Okay.
This government should concentrate and give the dividends of democracy to Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering. There are issues. Call it for solution. They should face the issues at hand and move on with it.
Okay. Side
by side, checkmates of what has happened, and I agree with that, but not like a cause or not like a part of an item on their manifesto.
Okay.
The man was correct. I don't want to dabble into that, but he was correct now.
Okay.
If you want to probe the federal administration, you start from the presidency. You don't go and bully people and say this. I don't want to go into that because Emefiele too have his own excesses in the old matters. I wonder what such amount of dollars was doing in his coffers. So these are issues that are too, I don't want to talk about it honestly, but if you want to probe the government, you start from the presidency. and probe and let people see that there's transparency.
But do you actually think we can ever...
Was the EFCC chairman working for himself? No, people appointed him. Probe the correct ministry so that it can feed that down to him. So
but
this is my take on that.
Okay, do you think
the government have, federal government today, I'm one person that said, both Atiku, both Peter Obi, both Tinubu, both Kwankwaso, they are all capacity men. Any of them that came into power had the capacity to rule this country. So one is here, it should face the duty.
But do you actually think we're looking to getting a president that would actually be able to checkmate the previous administration? And I mean, not previous administration as governor, as president. And we have a sitting president right now, and it says, oh, President Muhammadu Buhari stole so amount of money.
No,
do you actually think we're going to get to that point?
President Tinubu is too matured, and what is managing today is a shortfall of the previous administration. And he's seen as matured as he's handling the issues. He's not coming out to tell Nigerians there is no money. He's not coming out to tell Nigerians that these were the backlashes of. But he's trying to see how he can control it. So in quarters, he's talking to people that will understand to that effect. So I think that is mature enough. Okay. So the issue of probing this and probing that won't come out in this administration. We are happy with what he's doing in the present, but they must not crawl. Nigerians want to see them running in all of these issues.
All right, thank you so much, Comr Duke, for joining us today. It's been an insightful and powerful one, like always. And we do hope you join us one other time to, of course, not one, plenty all the time. All right, our viewers at home, we're sorry if we could not take your call. The phones are still ringing, but then we've been asked to round up. If not, my guy is going to pursue me out of the studio this morning. Thank you for calling, and thank you for making your contributions this morning. And of course, thank you for listening to most of the headlines analysis from guests today. This is where we put the end of the press this morning. Do also, of course, stay tuned for more updates from KAFTAN Television, and see you same time, same station tomorrow on the press. I remain Mercy Babajide. Bye.